Forget Having It All, How America Messed Up Motherhood and How to Fix It by Amy Westervelt. A review today with some takeaways in about halfway through. So if the microcosm of motherhood is like the minute that your toddler stands by your bed silently because they're awake before you are and their face is like 4 inches away from you, like, "Mama, wake up." And you open your eyes because you just know they're there, and there they are, and your day begins. If that's the micro, then this book is on the super, super macro level. We're talking systems, institutions, policies, nations as a whole, cultures. And I love this book in that geeked out, like, big level academic way. So if you want to figure out the answer like Westervelt did, why is there so much about American motherhood that sucks? On a cultural level, this book is totally for you because she answers that question with a lot of empathy, with a lot of self-awareness, and with a ton of research. What Amy Westervelt does so well is really clearly connect what historical and cultural elements are unique to America and then how they come together to make this weird institution of American motherhood. Except this was written in late 2018, and these days, in these corona days, that macro level, it doesn't help us day to day, right? So I took out 5 actionable takeaways from the book that real parents parenting today, right now, might be able to use in our day-to-day lives. And these come straight from her research, and maybe they might help us. Let's try. So, actionable takeaway number 1. She very thoroughly reveals the misguided origins of a lot of the parenting mandates we hear about today. Things like attachment parenting, intensive perfect mothering, lean in and trickle down capitalist feminism, and the moral righteousness of so many of these mothering choices. So what she says is, if any of these things aren't working for you, freely do something else because your child will be okay. So if the right way, some blog's right way isn't working, do it your own way. Do something that works for your child and for you. Takeaway number 2 is really just a quote. Let's raise our children to appreciate the value of domestic labor instead of just silently shouldering the burden. And let's divvy up chores equally among genders. It sounds impossible, but it is possible to do. It takes effort and intention, but little by little, it is possible to spread the burden. Actionable takeaway number 3, especially now, let your kid be bored. It will not hurt them. It will not hurt them, and it might help you. The mess of guilt working mothers are saddled with is historically racist and overblown. Working as a mother was wrapped together into racist stereotypes that said that enslaved and later freed Black mothers who didn't have the opportunity to mother their children were bad mothers. Add in John Bowlby's theory of childhood attachment, and we get the guilt. The thing is, John Bowlby studied children who were orphaned and homeless after World War II. Quote, parenting experts have extrapolated his findings to equate what those orphaned and homeless children experienced to what American children experience when their mothers leave the home for work. Or today, what American children experience when their mothers are in the home working. Having a mother who works is just simply not the same as being orphaned and homeless. So Westervelt gives us that permission to just put that guilt aside. It's not founded in science. Number 4, it's more of an awareness item. So we, and I say we because I fall into this category, we middle-class white mothers have a very specific and very narrow brand of motherhood. And we're not actually aware that it is specific because it's the only one that gets any coverage in the blogs and the ads and popular motherhood culture, which means there are so many other versions, so many diverse experiences of motherhood that don't get seen and that don't get added into the picture of what good mothering looks like. Takeaway number 5 is that, okay, so Westervelt offers a cultural fix and a policy fix for each kind of subject she explores, which is pretty much every element of motherhood. But one that comes up often is that the question, would this be better if we just said, okay, dads, your turn to stay at home? We just switch moms for the dads, and dads start taking on all the labor, and moms go to work outside the home and achieve. So trickle-down feminism says the idea is if we just switch these, equality can't help but happen, right? Except that's not going to fix everything. It's not going to suddenly raise the value of caretaking in our culture. And so, like so many of the intersectional feminist leaders and activists have been advocating for many, 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 many years, like 50 plus years. She asks, instead of just switching women for men and calling it fixed, quote, instead of the endless drive towards higher salaries and more lofty titles, what if we built a world in which those things had less value? She asks us, what would a caring, woman-centered reality look like? And she says that this is the imaginative work women need to be undertaking, not trying to have the same things that men have. In rebuilding sometime in the future from COVID-19, we're going to be facing a situation where inequality, socioeconomic and health, racial, all the types of inequalities that make life unfair, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be quick. The system of equality doesn't get built as quickly as you rebuild a house. It gets built really slowly, very slowly, one person at a time. So whether we're reading this book because it's a super interesting cultural political read, or whether you just do the takeaways because no one's got time for that, or whether you listen to the audiobook, which I totally recommend, is super fun. Amy Westervelt, Podcast Pro, reads it herself, and it is amazing. Whichever one we do, take good care and know that Amy's wish is for all parents to cut themselves just a little bit of slack, because we're parenting right now in an extremely imperfect system. The system that she's outlined throughout the whole book. We're all parenting in this broken system, and it's not our fault. And it's not our jobs to fix the system, each one of us individually. Cross that off our to-do lists, especially now. Our personal to-do list is do what we can, advocate where we can, love our families, keep them safe, be safe and well ourselves, raise good kids to be kind and just and be well. And this is me talking, Zoe, but I think Amy would agree that I know we are all doing the very best we possibly can with what's available to us today, and that for all of us, that's enough. Be well. Talk to you soon. Get Amy's book, especially the audiobook. It's amazing. I'll see you later.